Hi, it's Elaine from Penguin Place Crafts. Take two. I got about 2 minutes into the video and realized some papers that I needed weren't here because I put the remaining yarn from the last scrap bag onto the scale to see how much was left, and the papers were on top of the bin and I set them off to the side. Then I brought the bin back, but I left the papers. I have everything down. Okay. Since the last time we met, I have finished a bunch of stuff. Let's see, 4 of them were from restocks, and another one is for Crochet Roulette 2025. Okay, first, this is a free pattern on Instagram by Crocheted by Elle. It's a duck, and it's got like a removable hat, and it's got this little bag that you can take on. I call it the dress-up duck. I was down to one of these. I have one in sunflower colors left in inventory. I wanted to have more, so I made this one. And then I made this one. Now, looking at them from the front, they look pretty similar. But if you look at them from the side, this guy looks a little bit like Pinocchio. I tried something different. I tried, you're just supposed to like make a chain and crochet around it. And I did 2 rows because I just like the way 2 rows looks better. I tried doing those 2 rows and then crocheting them together so that I had just a row of single crochets to sew them on from. I think I should have just done the 1 row, 8 stitches around, and then crocheted them together for row 2. And those papers that I said I just had to have, they just fell on the floor. So these were the first 2 things I made. Okay, get this one over within reach. Okay, we got that one. This other one might be a little bit harder. It's further away. Oh, it's not going to slide. Excuse me. Okay, we can put that one over there. I'll get my papers. Okay, I'm going to put the papers down on that shelf where they're a bit more secure. Okay, then, after I finished the 2, get back, center yourself, girl, center. After I finished the 2 dress-up ducks, I have this one creature. There was one show I did last year where I had 3 of these and I sold out of them. And I just thought the little 6-inch high shelves of this show really lend themselves to sort of long creatures like lizards or splooting creatures. So first, I made a blue platypus. Then I made a purple platypus. And I might make another platypus before I'm done. Because I just have this feeling that this would be a good show for selling platypus. And then, just before I came back to do this video, I finished this. I do need to find a button and put a button here. This is this week's entry for my Crochet Roulette. Crochet Roulette. Protective cover in stripes. What is it protecting? Meow. An itty bitty cat. There's this pattern for the itty bitty cat, and it comes with instructions for a little egg that it fits into. I couldn't resist. I just had to make it. So buttons are there. Okay, I have to get a button for that and get a button sewn on so I can take that with me because that's under 6 inches tall. That'll be perfect for the show. For those who are a little bit out of the loop of what show is she talking about, I'm going down to my daughter's house for a big show on Saturday. And the space that I get has all of these little cubicles behind it where I can put all the stuff, and I don't have to take my grid. I don't have to take stuff for like stacking for additional height on the table. I can just knock myself out and fill up those grids. So, how am I doing with the Miss Shy Scrappy Challenge? Bag 4. That is all that's left. What did I say it was? 3.3 ounces. And I just started a project that will probably either use this up or use most of it. So then I'll have to make something that uses up this. Maybe I should make a pink platypus. And then I will just have literally a handful of little stuff to finish off. Actually, if I make a platypus, that'll use up some of the orange on the outside of here for the beak and the feet. So, I was busy today. Yes, I was busy. I did laundry. I made green tomato salsa, but it's missing something. It's not quite good enough, and neither my husband or I could figure out what it's missing. So I said, okay, I'm just going to can it as is, and when I'm making a pot of chili and I want to add a jar of salsa for some extra volume, I'll use this green tomato chili. I finished up that one. 1, 2, 3, 4. I made 4 items today. I did some sorting for the show. I have a new set of puzzles to work on, so I did my quota of puzzles. I did get a lot done today. That's why I'm making my video at 9 o'clock at night. One thing that I did was I printed out my list of shows. All the shows. 100 and... That's why I have readers here. This is small type. 152 shows that I've done so far. Did you know that average sales for my 152 shows, my average sales is only $132 per show, with a net of $104 per show? And I have 2 shows where sales were over or very close to 1,000. There's a typo here. I need to fix the typo. I put down 2024 2 years. This was this year, 2025. Street Fest 2024, my sales were 1,031, and Street Fest 2025, my sales were $997. Oh, I couldn't get that one more $3 sale to get to 1,000. So close, I hit so far. So this week I'm doing Black Hawks down by my daughter's house. This will be my 8th show down there. I've done 4 spring shows and 3 fall shows. And I realized something unique about the Black Hawk shows. They are all on page 1 of my shows. Page 1 goes up to 44. So they're all in the top 40 shows. In fact, they're all in the top 35 shows out of 150. So this show traditionally has done well for me. Okay, back to the readers. For fall shows, I have an average net of $316.33. So that is over double, almost 3 times the average for shows overall. Spring shows, my average is $210.12 net, which is 132, 210, not quite double. And that overall average is not correct. I'm not sure. I say 104.02. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, yeah, that is the overall net. Duh. I thought I meant overall net for both spring and fall Blackhawks. Okay, 104. So it is double. It is double my average for shows. So it's a good show. It traditionally has high sales. This is a spreadsheet that I made up of all of the shows that I've done so far this year. 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 shows. Now, my net from these shows varies wildly. From Street Fest, a net of $837, to the show I did in May that got rained out, where I had a net loss of $32. And there was last month's show down in Pennsylvania where I made $5. The number of items sold at Street Fest, 99. At the rained out show, 2. So, like, my average number of items sold per show is 24. But Street Fest and the other July show that is over, it was the Kiwanis Art Show. That one I sold 33 items. At the West Seneca Spring Show, that was the spring show for the show I just did last week, I sold 22 items. So it varies widely. But at the spring show for Blackhawks, I sold 19. So that is one of the higher number of items sold shows. So I think that having myself nicely organized is going to be a key for this show. I already drew out a map of all these little grids, and I picked out categories to put in each of them. It's like, okay, this grid down here is going to be turtles. This one's going to be birds. This one's going to be lizards. This one's going to be cats. And I was trying to get, okay, like dragons, they can go up on the top because they can sort of hang over the edge. But smaller things like turtles, especially like the sea turtles that are laying flat, they got to be down lower where they're easier to see. So I've got it all planned out. For some of these items where it's the same price for the whole set, I need to make up little signs. Like the coffee cups with the legs. I think the pattern is officially called the Jellycat Coffee. I like making those. I think I got 4 or 5 of them at this point. Yeah, I'll make up a little sign that says coffee with, you know, coffee guy or something like that. I don't know. But I don't want to call them Jellycat Coffee because they look sort of like the Jellycat items. The Jellycat items have a face on the item and they have little legs coming out. So it's in that style, but I don't want to use the trademarked name to draw attention to them. So, but I'll have all those up and say those are $12. I'll have my Tilly the Triceratops. Yeah, Tilly the Triceratops, $12. And then I can tell people, okay, oh, you like Triceratops? I do have a bag of dinosaurs under the table. If you don't see one here that you like, We can pull out the bag. I've got lots of other sizes, lots of different prices, bigger, smaller. So that will be tomorrow. Tomorrow I'm going to be pulling everything out like I made a space for Platypus. According to my list, I have 2 of these already made up. I'm not sure what bag they're in. They're probably in the jungle bag. Is the jungle bag in here? Nope, jungle bag's not in here. But since my sloths are also $12, I think I will say like platypus and sloth, $12. And just have them going across the row and see if I can sell out on those. I think if I have, there's the other, PJ Sloth. Free pattern on my blog. I could make, PJ Sloth, he must be sleepy. He decided he'd want to go lie down on the floor. He also distracted me, so I have no idea what I was saying. Okay. Since I'm having problems remembering what I was saying, and I've already showed you everything, and I ran through some numbers, I probably should go out and get this edited and play with yarn. But just a few closing numbers to shoot for. The best I have done at this show was $507 in sales. The next best was $322 in sales. And last fall, oh, that what $322 was last fall. I thought I had one. Okay, fall of 2023, I only had $215 in sales. So I've got them marked down here. What I'm shooting for to beat. I would love to set a new record for this school. The chances of me getting into the top 10 with this show are pretty good. Let's see, that one is, I would have to do 362 in order. It's a different, the one that's currently in the top 10 only had a $25 fee, and this one has a $50 fee. So I was trying to do math in my head. Math in my head doesn't always work well. So tomorrow's going to be a day of organization and fine-tuning things and printing signs and updating my inventory with the stuff that I just made. And just all the little fine-tuning that I think I need to do. I do need to transfer stuff from my setup setup crate. I had this collapsible crate with a handle that would telescope up. For one thing, the handle no longer telescopes up. It has broken in several places, and it's falling apart. So I'm going to have to come up with something different for a setup crate. I think it's time to say goodbye to this one. Maybe I could just switch over to a sturdy canvas bag and sort of size down a bit. For this show, I don't think I'm going to take my cash box. I think I'm going to wear my apron that my daughter made for me so that I don't have to worry about stepping away from the cash box. Because for this one, I'm up against a wall, so I'm sitting in a chair next to the table. If somebody calls me, if somebody's looking at something over on the end of the table, my cash box is, it's like sort of out in the open. I don't have a place to really hide it. So I think this is a show where I will be using my apron instead of my cash box, just to keep things safe and just because of the layout of the whole thing. A lot to do tomorrow. I'll try to squeeze in a video. I've got the whole day to pack things up. I should be able to do this. As long as I don't, behave like this morning, where it's just like, oh, okay, oops, he lost his hat. I was like, oh, okay, I've got 2 finished items between this and the other dress-up duck. I can go make a video. No, let's make another item. Oh, as long as I got the pattern out, let's make another one. And then, let's see, by that time, well, it's getting close to time to make dinner. I think I went out to have lunch, and I saw the pattern not the pattern, when you're cooking it's called a recipe. I saw the recipe for the green tomato salsa on the table. It's like, oh yeah, I said I was going to make that today. I really need to do that before we're gone for the weekend. So then I ended up making the salsa. And then I went back out to my chair and I started on the cat in the bag, cat in the egg. And, oh well, now it's time for dinner. Then I wanted to finish that up. And Wheel of Fortune and Jeopardy and Star Trek came on. Tonight was the one with the Tribbles. My husband's like, do you really want to watch that one? I was like, yes, I like that one. There's so many entertaining parts in that. Okay, I have like 3 or 4 favorite moments. Like Spock is sitting there and he's petting the Tribble, saying, oh, this has just the ability to, like, a calming influence. Yes, you humans would be affected by this, but of course I am not. And the whole time he's petting the Tribble, and people look up at him, and he's like, oh, then he puts the Tribble down. I thought that's hilarious. And then later, like the whole barroom fight scene where the Klingon is insulting Captain Kirk, and Chekhov, he wants to go. He wants to go settle the score. You don't insult my captain. And Scotty's like, sit down, lady. Just sit down. Oh, we can be bigger than this. We're strong enough to take a few insults. But then the Klingon insults the Enterprise and calls it a garbage scow, and then the whole fight breaks out. That one, I guess there's only 3. Well, I like it when the Tribble goes nuts over the Klingon. Oh yeah, at the end, yeah, that one too. When they're saying what happened to the Tribbles, but when Kirk opens up the door to the grain compartment, and all of the Tribbles are just falling down on him. I love that part. You know why? Because all those Tribbles falling down reminds me of yarn. It's like if you opened up a hatch to your yarn room and just all the yarn just falls down and you're buried in yarn. So, okay, that was my Trekkie moment for tonight. Now I'm going to go edit a video and play with yarn some more and try to get to bed at a decent hour. You know it. As soon as I mention going to bed, it made me yawn. So I sort of clip that out there. Yesterday I was like, okay, I'm not going to take a nap. I'm going to stay up till like 10:30 and then I'm going to go to bed. I stayed up till midnight. Then I was up at 6:30. So 10:30, 11 o'clock. That'd be good. So then if I sleep till 6:30, I'm getting 7.5 or 8 hours sleep. So gotta cut off the craft time early tonight. But right now, I'm gonna go edit a video and play with yarn. I don't know if I can finish this up before I head down to my daughter's for the weekend. I would like to get this finished. If I got this finished, then I could do the finale and schedule that to come out sometime over the weekend when I'm busy with the craft show and can't make a video. We'll see. We'll see. I have no idea how well I'll do tomorrow with my packing and everything. If I'm doing a lot of packing and running around and, in and out to the car and packing stuff up and all that, I need to take yarn breaks so that I don't overdo it. Yeah, that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Okay, as long as I'm back here, I'm going to get some pictures in the Lightbox and update a couple of Etsy listings tonight. Something I have not done in a while. And then I'll go up in my chair. I just realized for a lot of these things that I've made, since I'm taking them down to the show, if they sell, I wouldn't have a picture to put in the finale. So I want to get a picture of all of the stuff that I'm taking down to the show. All of the new stuff from Scrap Bag 4. Okay. I'm rambling. Goodbye.